welcome back to Angel B Designs. I'm Angel B. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not, welcome back. In today's video, you guys, we're going to be talking about my Sublimation printer. A couple months ago, or maybe almost a year ago, I did purchase and convert a Epson EcoTank 8550. A lot of people I still get a lot of comments and questions about that video. Do I still use it? Do I still have it? Do I still love it? Am I using something else? So I'm giving an updated video. Yes, I still have the printer. Yes, I still use it. I have not purchased any other printer. If I did, I would have put it on the channel. I promise I would have. But I did go ahead and also remove my rollers, which I'm going to show you guys how to do today because it did start posing a problem for me with smearing some of my prints. I know a lot of people do get those issues. Some people don't, some people do. So it just depends on your settings, I guess. But with my settings, I was getting issues with my roller marks, so I did go ahead and remove the rollers from that printer, and I will show you how to do that in today's video. I'm also going to kind of do an updated sublimation video. We're going to be talking about how to download the highest resolution images that you can, like from Canva, and then where I print from. I'm going to show you my printer settings. I do have my drivers installed. I'm going to show you my printer settings. I'm going to show you my paper, my ink. The Epson EcoTank does have 6 cartridges. I am going to show, well, not cartridges, tanks. They have 6 tanks for 6 different colors. I will show you the brand of ink that I use that does provide me with 6 different sublimation colors, which is black, photo black, cyan, yellow, magenta, and gray. Okay, so photo black and gray are the extra 2 colors, and I do get those in sublimation ink as well. So we're going to talk about all of that, and then we are going to go ahead and press a shirt. We're going to talk about shirts, colors, poly count, the best garments to use, things like that. You guys, we're talking all things sublimation, and I'm also giving you an update on my printer. But this is what we are doing today, you guys. Of course, I'm going to show you up close, but look at those colors. Look at those colors, okay? This is what we're doing today, guys. So definitely go ahead and stick around for this. Okay, guys, so for the sake of not making this video super long, I have already designed my image here. If you guys want an in-depth tutorial on designing an image like this, just leave a comment down below and let me know. But I do have my image already created in Canva Pro. Now I'm going to show you how, after you're done creating your image, how you would download it for it to be high resolution. Okay, so we're going to go up to the share button here. And then we're going to select download, and we're going to download a PNG. And the size here, the default is going to be like lower down here, but you want to take this and you want to toggle it all the way up. That is going to give you the highest resolution. And then we also want this to have a transparent background. Okay. And then once we get that download, you get that downloaded to your computer. For today's project, because I don't need to cut this image, I am going to print from Silhouette Studio. I do have the business edition. However, if you are simply printing and you don't need the business edition for anything else like the rhinestone panel or anything like that, you absolutely can print from the free version of Silhouette Studio. You don't have to have the business edition. So I'm going to go up to file, and I'm going to merge in my file here. Now it is going to come in kind of big because, again, we did make the resolution of it. We took the resolution all the way up. So because of that, it's going to make the file just, it's going to take longer to bring in. Might take a little bit longer to download, all of those things. However, I will say that it's definitely worth it though. Just waiting a little bit longer for the system to bring in your file for a high resolution print. That's a pretty good trade-off to me. Before, when I was not toggling that button up all the way for the pixels, I mean, I would get decent downloads, but when I started toggling it all the way up, I started to get way better downloads. Okay, so my image has uploaded here. Now I did resize this to be 10.5 inches wide, just because I am going to be sublimating this on a size large. I like my prints to be a little bit on the bigger side. So I'm doing 10.5 wide, okay? Now I'm gonna go on over to my print settings, and I do wanna preface this by saying that my drivers are installed, okay? Your settings are going to look different if you do not have your drivers installed. However, these are my settings for my drivers being installed, okay? So I go over here to my sublimation printer, which is the 8550 is selected, and I'm gonna select preferences. Okay, and then my document size is 11 by 17. I do have borderless checked. We're gonna print on portrait orientation. I use the plain paper, bright white paper setting in color with the best quality. And then under more options, I do have bi-directional printing checked off and mirror checked on. Okay, these are simply my settings here. Fairly easy. Again, if you have your drivers installed, it's pretty simple to get your settings um, to be the correct settings. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is go ahead and get this printed. I'm going to remove the rollers in this video as well. And in the next clip, I will be showing you guys how to remove the rollers so that you can prevent any streak marks or smearing or anything like that. So I'm going to go ahead, remove the rollers, and then we're going to print this out and we'll go ahead and press together. Okay guys, so we're gonna go ahead and remove the rollers. The first thing you wanna do on the left side of the printer is remove these two screws. This is the cover for it. And then on the inside, once you remove that, there's a silver screw on the left side. You're gonna go ahead and remove that screw as well, but not the one on the right. Once you remove the screw that's on the left, you're really just going to kind of play around with the rollers and wiggle them until you can get them completely popped out. Now it's gonna feel like you're gonna break the printer. Honestly, that's what it feels like. Like if you pull too hard, you're going to break it, but you're not going to. Just pull it as much as you can to try to get the rollers out. Keep wiggling them as much as you have to. What I just did was I turned my printer on, and then when it was in the middle of kind of initializing, I turned it off so that I can move that print head. If you need to move the print head, just do that. It's not necessary, but I just wanted to move it a little bit just to kind of wiggle it out. And then you'll see me push the print head back over to the end and then just kind of slide the rollers out. But it's going to take a little bit of pulling this way, pulling that way, loosening, wiggling, and then as you can see, they just come right on out. Alright guys, so this is the printer here. This is my paper, which is my 11 by 17. The larger paper, anything that's bigger than 8.5 by 11, does have to go through the rear feed on this printer. So I just loaded my paper in. I'm going to go ahead and hit print, and while it's printing, I'm going to show you the paper that I use, and I'm also going to show you the ink that I use. You probably did already see me taking out the rollers. Now, why would I take out the rollers? So the rollers, this printer is typically, or this printer was created to be an inkjet printer, okay? That's why the rollers are there. It helps guide the paper to come out of the printer. However, when you convert it to sublimation or DTF or whatever, anything that's other than inkjet, the issue is when the ink is dropped down onto the paper, it doesn't dry as quickly as inkjet would. So sometimes what happens is when the rollers hit the ink and it's not all the way dry because it doesn't dry as soon as it hits the paper, it creates roller marks or smearing of the image on the paper. Sometimes you can have printers that don't do this or rollers that don't do this. For me, I was having this issue. I did have the EcoTank 8500, which is a smaller version of this printer. I did not have to remove the rollers on that printer because I never had that issue. For this one, when I first got the printer, I didn't really have that issue. It kind of started after I had been using it for a couple months, and I just really didn't like it. So I did go ahead and remove the rollers. Now, if removing the rollers is something you would like to do, again, I did show that clip in earlier in the video on how to actually remove the rollers. But the paper that I use is A-sub paper, okay? Oh. A-sub paper. Everything that I am using in this video will be linked down below, you guys, but this is the paper. I use the A-sub brand. They have a bunch of different kinds as far as grams for the paper. This is the 8.5 by 11. I typically, now I purchase the 120. That one is the 125. I had already bought it, but I would say if you're gonna purchase this paper, go with the 120. Just because the 120, to me, you get better. I don't know, I just get better quality with 120. As I've been using A-sub for about 4 years now, and I have tried the 120, the 125, and for me, I personally just like the 120 better. When you're using sublimation, try them both. When you do it for a long time, you will see the difference. You will, you know, just start to get your preferences and see what you like better and things like that. I personally like the 120 better. Some people like 125. The ink that I use is Hippo ink. I don't have a cart on me. Give me 1 second. Okay, so this is the Hippo ink, okay, the brand. Again, it will be linked down below. I do get it from Amazon. With this printer, you guys, this printer comes with 6 cartridges, okay? 6 color cartridges. We got black, photo black, cyan, yellow, magenta, and gray, okay? I do have colors in all 6. Hippo ink does sell all 6 colors. Now, I have not used this printer without having all 6 colors. When I first converted this printer, I did not have the photo black or the gray, but after I converted it and added the ink in, I got the photo black and the gray ink literally 2 days later. So my printer only didn't have those colors for 2 days, and then I did add it right in. Other than those 2 days, I've never used this printer without all 6 colors. From other videos, people have said that not having those colors or having some of them empty could, y'all, my image is cut off. I'll probably have to reprint this. Yeah, I'm gonna have to reprint it because it got kind of cut off right here. Just a little bit. I'll just have to move it over, but look how clear this looks. I'm gonna reprint it. But other than it being cut off right here, that looks really, really good. Okay. But yes, you have to use all 6 colors. I have heard that, you know, not using all 6 colors will cause issues with your printer. Again, the brand that I use is Hippo, and they do sell a package that has all 6 colors. The black, the photo black, the cyan, yellow, magenta, and gray. I will leave it linked down below. Hippo sells all 6 colors for the sublimation ink, okay? All right, I really think that's it for this printer. I will leave a link for this printer down below as well. They do have them on Amazon. I picked it up from a local store called Micro Center. You can either try to find one local to you, or you can get it on Amazon. Either way, I trust either one. I'm gonna go ahead and get this image reprinted, and then I'm gonna meet you over at my heat press, and we'll go ahead and press the shirt. Alright guys, so here is my image here, okay? Look how clean and crisp that looks. Alright, so I'm going to be using my HTV Ron Auto Press. Yes, I did sublimate onto my pad by accident, but it's not going to bleed. It should be fine. This is the shirt that I'm using. Okay, we're using a, this is a Cricut. It's a women's t-shirt. It's for infusible ink, but infusible ink and sublimation are the same thing. Okay, you just need a blank or some type of garment or something that's 100% polyester. Okay, so today I'm going with the Cricut brand. Alright, so first thing I'm going to do, you guys, my butcher paper is out, so for today I'm going to use parchment paper, which is fine. First thing I'm going to do is put parchment paper down on the bottom so we don't get that issue again. Then I'm going to pre-press. We're going to lint roll and pre-press. You guys, when it comes to sublimation, lint rolling is so important, because when you are pressing on these high temperatures, which for sublimation it has to be minimum 385. It depends on what you're pressing. Today I'm going 400. So with this, it's so important to lint roll, because when you are pressing at these high temperatures, for whatever reason, if there's lint on your shirt, it turns blue. Okay, it turns this weird blue color, and we do not want that. So make sure you lint roll really, really good to avoid, and I mean, even when I lint roll really good, I still always see a couple of blue fibers here or there. And then we're also going to pre-press for about 10 seconds. So my heat press is set to 400 degrees for 60 seconds. I'm only going to do a pre-press for about 10 seconds. And then I'm going to get another piece of parchment paper and put it inside the shirt. This isn't always necessary. It just depends. For today's project, I'm pressing at a higher time and temp. So like I said, I'm doing 400 degrees for 60 seconds. So I am going to go ahead and put some parchment paper in here. Okay. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, this helps with press lines. Okay. Because again, we're using a high time and a high temperature. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut around. Some people rip it, some people cut it. This just kind of helps with those harsh press lines. Sometimes you will still get it because, again, it is a high time and temperature, but it helps, okay? If you rip it, sometimes it might help a little bit more. Also, sometimes you might get, like I got it right here, a little bit of black ink somewhere else on your paper. You just want to cut your paper around your image just to avoid any maybe ink that you missed and to help with the press lines. Okay, and we're just going to go ahead and put this face down, and then I'm going to take some tape here, heat resistant tape. And then I'm going to take another piece of parchment paper and put it right on top. This is to avoid any bleeding. And then we're going to press for 60 seconds at 400 degrees. It's pretty simple. The whole process is pretty simple. It's just that there are certain steps that have to be taken. So things that are non-negotiable, the polyester count, okay? You need at least 60%. Anything less than 60% polyester, you're gonna get a very, very dull image, or it's gonna wash out. It's just not gonna look good. It's not gonna look bright. To get the brightest, truest sublimation, go 100% polyester on a bright white garment. Now, yes, you can go different colors, but however, you can't use darker colors. For instance, black, navy blue, burgundy. Unless you're doing an all black image, burgundy doesn't really work, like the wine color. You would have to go like the Easter pastel color, so a light pink, a light blue, a light yellow, things like that, or a light gray, not the dark gray, but a light gray. So when I think of colors that I can sublimate on, I think of the Easter colors, I think of the pastel colors, the light colors. But again, your poly count still has to be at least 60%, or it's not going to work. Okay? So I'm going to remove the parchment paper. I'm not going to remove my image immediately, just because that sometimes creates ghosting. But as you can see here, we can see the ink through the paper. That's a good sign that our sublimation worked the way that it was supposed to. I'm going to go ahead and turn my heat press off because I don't need it anymore. I'm going to wait about just a couple minutes, and then we'll go ahead and do the peel reveal together. Alright guys, so it's been a couple minutes, but the reason that you wait, or the reason that I like to wait just a couple minutes, if I can, before I peel, sometimes if you peel it when it's still steamy, still hot, the process of the sublimation, because it's still hot, it hasn't fully stopped yet. Okay, so if you remove it too quickly, you may cause a little bit of ghosting. Look at those colors. OMG. Also, let's look at the paper. Okay, look at the amount of ink that was released from this paper. That's what you want. You don't want a whole bunch of ink left on your paper. You want as much ink to be released onto your garment as possible. Look at these colors, you guys. OMG, these colors are absolutely amazing. The clarity and the crispness of this picture as well. Like I said in the beginning, you definitely want to make sure that did my camera go dark? I hope it didn't. You definitely want to make sure that your image is high resolution. I still get so many questions about sublimation, so hopefully I cleared some things up. I was able to answer some questions for the new people to the channel here. But yeah, as long as you follow these steps, I'm telling you, you shouldn't have any issues at all. Step by step, this is what I do. This is how I get high resolution images. This is where I print from, my settings. I showed you how I remove the rollers. I showed you my paper. I showed you my settings. I showed you my ink. I showed you everything. I showed you everything. I showed you everything that I do. There's no secret steps that I'm leaving out or not telling you guys. I promise I showed you everything that I do to get this print and to get these colors. Okay, again, this is a bright white shirt on 100% polyester, and then we talked about the poly count, and then we talked about the colors. I promise you guys, there's no secret steps. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not, cutting anything out. I'm not lying about my steps. This is what I do to get these colors, and that's it. Okay. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, drop them down below. I'll try to either answer them or do another video for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all the good stuff. Until next time. Bye, guys.